One of these men went undercover for 3 years, training as a used car salesman just to learn how people get manipulated. Another flunked out of Oxford, cooked in a Paris hotel kitchen, sold stoves door to door, and then wrote the most famous car advertisement of all time. And one was sleeping on the floor of his own failing gym down to his last $1,000. 5 authors, 5 books, billions of dollars built on their ideas. In the next 9 minutes, their stories, and the one lesson from each book that actually matters. Book 1. Influence. In the late 1970s, Robert Cialdini, a psychology professor in Arizona, had a problem. He kept getting talked into buying things he didn't want. Magazine subscriptions, raffle tickets, candy bars. And it bothered him that, as a scientist of persuasion, he kept losing to salesmen. So he did something no professor had done. He answered their job ads. For about 3 years he went undercover, trained as a car salesman, a fundraiser, a telemarketer, taking notes from the inside. The result, in 1984, was Influence, the book that mapped the 6 levers every persuader pulls. The most powerful one? Social proof. When we're unsure, we don't think, we copy. Researchers tested it with a simple sign in hotel bathrooms. Help the environment, versus most guests in this room reused their towels. The crowd version won, clearly. It's why McDonald's signs counted billions served, and why on Amazon the product with 10,000 reviews beats an identical one with none. The lesson from Book 1: don't just claim you're good, show the crowd that's already chosen you, and as a buyer, notice when the crowd is doing your thinking for you. Book 2. Ogilvy on advertising. Ogilvy failed at almost everything first. He left Oxford without a degree. He cooked in the kitchen of a Paris hotel. He sold cooking stoves door to door in Scotland, and got so good that the company asked him to write a sales manual. He farmed with the Amish in Pennsylvania. At 38, with almost no clients, he started an ad agency and became the most famous advertising man in history. His secret wasn't creativity, it was homework. When Rolls-Royce hired him, Ogilvy spent weeks buried in the car's engineering reports until he found one line from an engineer. It became the legendary headline. At 60 miles an hour, the loudest sound in the car is the clock. No slogans, no adjectives, one researched, specific, verifiable fact, and it became maybe the most celebrated car ad ever printed. That's the lesson of Book 2. Specifics sell, vagueness repels. High quality means nothing. The loudest noise is the clock means everything. Before you write a single word of copy for an ad, a CV, a YouTube title, dig until you find the one concrete detail nobody else bothered to find. Book 3. Purple Cow. In the early 2000s, marketer Seth Godin was driving through the French countryside with his family. Fields of beautiful cows, mile after mile, and after 20 minutes, his family stopped looking. The cows were perfect and perfectly invisible. Then came the thought that became a movement, a purple cow, now that they'd pull over for. His book argued something brutal. In a world drowning in ads, being very good is the riskiest strategy of all because very good is invisible. Safe is risky. 20 years later, a company proved it with the most boring product on earth: water. Liquid Death put plain water in a heavy metal beer can with skulls and the slogan of murdering your thirst. Retailers laughed, customers didn't. The brand reached a valuation over $1 billion, selling what falls from the sky for free. Same water as everyone else. Remarkable packaging of the idea. Lesson 3. Stop polishing good. Ask the scarier question. What would make someone point at this and tell a friend? If the answer is nothing, the marketing budget won't save you. Book 4. Contagious. Jonah Berger, a professor at Wharton, spent a decade asking one question: why do some things spread while better funded things die quietly? His book, Contagious, found the patterns, and the best demonstration cost $50. A small Utah company called Blend Tech made industrial blenders, powerful, expensive, and unknown. Then a new marketing director noticed the founder, Tom Dixon, testing blenders by shredding wooden boards. So he spent about $50 on marbles, golf balls, and a rotisserie chicken, pointed a camera at Tom in a lab coat, and asked the question that built an empire: will it blend? They blended golf balls, then an iPhone. The videos exploded into hundreds of millions of views, and sales reportedly multiplied within a couple of years. Why did it work? Berger's framework calls it social currency and practical value. Sharing the video made you look good, the person with the crazy blender clip, and it secretly proved the product better than any spec sheet could. Lesson 4. People don't share ads. They share things that upgrade their own status in the group chat. Make your customer the storyteller, not the audience. Book 5. $100 million offers. In 2016, Alex Hormozi walked away from a corporate path to run gyms in California. Within a few years, he'd lost essentially everything. At his lowest, he describes being down to around $1,000, sleeping on the floor of his own gym. The insight that rebuilt him became the book. He'd been competing on price, and price is where businesses go to die. So he flipped it. Instead of asking, "How cheap can I make this?" he asked, "How valuable can I make this?" so the price feels stupid to refuse. His value equation: take the dream outcome, multiply by how likely it feels, then divide by how long it takes and how painful it is. Improve any of the four and the same service becomes worth multiples more. He repackaged gym memberships into guaranteed 6-week transformation challenges, outcome up, risk down, time defined, and his company Gym Launch scaled past $100 million in revenue. Lesson 5, and it's the one that ties all 5 books together. The fastest way to grow isn't louder ads. It's an offer so good that the marketing barely has to work. An undercover professor, a failed chef, a purple cow, a $50 camera trick, and a man on a gym floor. Now I want to know, which of these 5 deserves the full episode? Every lesson in the book told like this? Vote in the comments. The winner becomes the next video. And if you don't want to miss it, you know exactly which psychological lever the subscribe button is pulling.